Today, I want to talk to you about the biggest reason that authors who write nonfiction self-help books fail. Hey, I'm Ken. I used to be a homicide detective. I was a cop for over 15 years, and I got sick of it. When I found out I was going to become a dad, I needed to make a change. In the last 15 years, I've started 4 different businesses in 4 different industries, and they've made a lot of money. This channel is dedicated to showing people exactly how to build an 8-figure coaching business. Every single part of it. I love teaching people how to write books, how to get your books traditionally published, how to turn those books into 7-figure coaching businesses, and you're going to find all that information right here. All right, friends, every once in a while, I do go down a rabbit hole. Every once in a while, I'm going to spend a couple minutes with you and talk to you about the negative side of writing books. Did you know that in the United States every year, over 500,000 books are published? Think about that for a second. It's a lot of people, right? 500,000 books are published. You know what the disgusting, gross, dirty little secret is? 90% of those books never sell 100 copies. Oh my God, think about that. 90% of those people never sell 100 copies. That means 450,000 people every year fail. Think about that. Writing a book can be one of the smartest things you ever do if you're trying to build any type of online business. Writing a book will instantly raise your credibility in the marketplace. People will start to, they realize that you obviously know what you're talking about if you can fill up a whole book worth of information. Writing a book is also an amazing way to attract high-ticket clients. Because if you write a book properly and you put all the information that you know in the book, in addition to that, if you add stories of clients you've helped, testimonials to the book, it's like the ultimate calling card. People read the book, they want to invest in you because they know you have the ability to help them. And you already know this part. That's why you're thinking about writing a book. That's why most people write books. It's because they know that the book can help them. So why do they fail? Why do books fail? About 10 years ago, I started reading statistics and studying the book business. And friends, if you're a business owner in any business, you need to understand the business that you're in. You need to take it seriously. You need to study your competitors. You need to study statistics. You need to study anything you can to make yourself more of an authority on the niche, on whatever that space that you're in. So in my case, I started studying books and success rates. And there's a company in the United States called Bowker. They're the largest research agency in the entire publishing industry. And they published the statistics. They were the ones that published the statistic about failure rates. And then Forbes published statistics and on and on and on. It's like the dirty little secret of the business. You know what the crazy part is? It hasn't changed in 15 years. Why? It's because it's such a big, major problem. So 10 years ago, I started studying this problem, and I had a theory based on sending surveys out to a whole bunch of authors that were on my email list. I started sending surveys out, and I asked them a couple questions to prove my theory. One of the questions I asked them is, do you consider yourself a reader? Do you read a lot of books? And you know what I found? 80% of authors who published books themselves and failed and struggled with them actually admitted that they didn't read a lot of books. So think about that. Let me just stop here and get you to think about that for a second. If you're trying to write a book and you don't read a lot of books yourself, how do you know what a good book actually looks like? So I started asking another survey question we'd ask the authors is, why did you write a book? Why did you decide to do it? You know what they said? Over 90% of people said, everybody told me I should write a book. So here's what normally happens, and here's what's probably happened to you. You fixed a problem in your life. You lost weight. You got in better shape. You fixed your marriage. You're passionate about helping people with a specific subject, and you think to yourself, everybody tells me I should write a book, and I want to write a book. I know I can use it as a calling card, as a way to increase my notoriety in the marketplace. Why wouldn't I do it? I'm going to write a book. But a lot of people don't write books. So how do they do it? Like, how do they actually write the book? So here's what happens. Here's what I found was happening with most people. And this has probably happened to you. You fix that problem in your life, and one day you come across a friend who hasn't seen you in a while, and they notice something different in you. They notice you've lost weight. They notice that you seem happier. They notice things are going great for you. And they ask you, what's new? Well, instantly you jump into a dissertation story about the thing, how you fixed the problem, because you're excited about it. And your friend patiently listens to you and acknowledges and nods at the right time and smiles. And then when you're finished telling your story 20 minutes later, they say, oh man, you should write a book. That's what happened. I know that's what happened to you. But what if I told you they weren't actually telling you should write a book? What they were really saying is, obviously you're really passionate about this story, and I didn't want to sit through a freaking whole dissertation about it. Rather than boring another one of your friends, you should just write a book. That's what they're actually saying. They're just trying to make you feel good and acknowledge you. They're not telling you should write a book the way you told the story. But that's the problem. Because most people who write books are not readers themselves. They don't know how to write a book. But everybody around them says you should write a book. So they write the book the only way they can think of. The way they told the story. Autobiographically. In the beginning, I was a child. Then I met my first love. Then I met donuts. Da-da-da-da-da-da. So this was my theory. My theory was the reason most books were failing was because the people writing the books weren't really great writers and weren't really great readers. So they wrote the book the only way they knew how. They wrote it biographically, autobiographically, the way it happened to them. So then we started surveying. To prove this theory, we started surveying people who read books. And the first question we asked people was, do you have a specific niche that you like to buy books? So I'm asking you that question now. Go into the notes from this show, and if you do, say yes. Yes, I do. And I know most people do. I personally love buying books on digital marketing. I've bought hundreds of them. I read a book or two. Right now, I'm reading about a book a week on digital marketing. I love reading about digital marketing. So when we found out that about 80% of people, they had a specific area that they like to read books in. These are people that read emphatically. So then we asked them, how many books have you read on that topic? And you know what they said? I buy them all. Or how many books have you bought on that topic? And they said, I buy them all. Any book I find on that topic, I buy it. It's just a habit I'm in. And I've got hundreds of them. So I want you to think about that right now. If you're going to write a book and you write it the right way, if you're going to sell your books, doesn't it make sense to you to just find like a significant guru who's written lots of books on the subject and has sold millions of copies, and then target their audience? Because their audience is already buying books in your niche. And most people who buy books in a specific self-help niche, they buy every book they find on that niche. So all you have to do then is show your book to those people. Boom, they buy them. Next logical book. If, on one condition. Remember I said this video was about the biggest mistake people make? Here it is. They write their books the wrong way. And even more importantly, they brand their books the wrong way. If your book makes it into a bookstore, which if you let me publish your book, it will be in a bookstore. I'll tell you more about that at the end. We have a traditional publishing company, and we can get your books in every bookstore in North America. But once it gets in there, it's going to be in a self-help section. So a section built around a problem, and it's going to be with hundreds of other books. So when somebody's scanning through the book titles, all they see is the title. They're going to buy the book that most accurately illustrates the problem the book solves. The title of the book needs to accurately indicate the problem the book solves. So for a weight loss book, a great title would be How to Lose 10 Pounds in the Next 5 Days. One of my authors is writing a book right now called How to Lose Weight Laughing and Smiling. She literally has a protocol where she teaches people how to lose weight without worrying about diet or exercise, just by your attitude. So when people see that title on a bookshelf amongst all the other weight loss books, that one stands out because it's unique and different, but it says clearly what the problem is that she's going to help fix. I talked to an author last week who was writing an amazing book to help women. And when I asked her what that book was, what the title she was thinking of, she gave me a title that didn't make any sense to me. It had nothing to do with the book. It had a lot to do with a specific thing that happened to her in the past, and she felt so passionate about it that she wanted to name her book that. I said, well, your book's going to fail because of it. She got offended by that. And I'm sorry if I'm offending anybody right now, but frig, listen, if you're going to take the time to write a book, then take the time to write it in a way that it's going to sell itself, that it's going to work. Make sure that your self-help book solves a problem. Make sure that the title of your book articulates the problem, clearly defines the problem, and more people will buy it. Hey friends, I hope this helped. Listen, if you want to know more about my entire book writing system and all my experience writing books, then click on the link in the show's notes. Come check out my live workshop, 10minutebestseller.com. We'll see you soon.